What's up, all my inspirational T-Savers? This is Shantara, and welcome back to my channel, you guys. I pray that you are well, doing amazing, feeling amazing, holding on to hope and faith, you guys. I told you guys a couple of videos back that I wanted to start telling my story times about the relationships that I have been in and just the things that I had settled for you guys. I am deciding to tell these stories because I want you guys to know that nothing that you've ever been through will ever be wasted, and God will use every single scenario, every single situation, every single relationship, every single heartache, every single heartbreak, every single divorce, every single whatever to bring him glory. And I want you guys to also know that these stories that I'm telling are not to bash another individual, but they are to let you know of brokenness. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, these stories are stories of brokenness. And until you decide to fully give your life over to God so that he can transform your mind and transform, your heart and the way you move and act and all of those things, you are doomed and guaranteed to repeat the same cycles over and over again. So these stories are cycles of me repeating the same things over and over again in different people or in different scenarios or whatnot. So all of the stories that I'm going to think about, I'm going to just start laying them out here, and then we're just going to start going through them. I'm going to start with the one that is, well, you guys know I already did the one about finding my very first boyfriend dead, but this one is the story time of me almost killing this man with my bare hands, right? Let's just get right into it. Okay, so I remember talking to this guy, right? I don't know how I met him. But anyways, at the time that I met him, this guy was in jail, right? His name was Mark. His birth name was Mark, right? But he went by another name that I'm not going to say. And he hated this name. And I'm like, why do you hate your real name? He was just like, because, in the worldly sense, this name Mark meant like, oh, you just a Mark, you know what I mean? Like, he was just a Mark type dude. He wasn't really nobody. He wasn't really, use a mark. A mark meaning you ain't nothing. You somebody who, you a schemer, you a scammer, you a liar, and all of this stuff. Unbeknownst to me. But anyways, I met this guy. He was in jail at the time. I don't usually date jailbirds, but what I'm telling y'all is these are stories of brokenness. So I'm meeting this guy, he's in jail. So we start talking back and forth, conversing back and forth, months and months on end, right? And then so he ends up getting out of jail. He gets out of jail. This is after, I think I had my baby. Did I have my baby? I don't know. I can't remember when, but this was way back when. Not sure if I had my daughter yet or not. No, I didn't have any kids yet. So, yeah, so he gets out of jail, right? So while he's in jail, he's big, stocky, he's this nice looking man with this long, beautiful hair, and, physically he's everything. Emotionally, he's everything too, because you got all this time in jail to think of all of these extravagant poems and lies and schemes and scams. You ain't got nothing but time on your hand. So of course I'm getting the most beautiful letters. I'm drinking a smoothie too. I'm getting the most beautiful letters and pictures, and of course, right? So he gets out of jail, right? Everything is fine. He's going to work and he's giving me money and helping me pay bills or whatever. But as time is going by, y'all always know God always gives you red flags. You can either take note to them or you can choose to ignore them, but they are there. So as the time is going by, this guy is like taking my car. Oh, I have to go do this and I have to go do that. So he would take the car and be gone. And then when he would come back, right when you step in the door, you automatically go take a shower. What does that mean? That means when you left to step out, you went to sleep with another woman and then you came home to take a shower. But my thing is the disrespect that I allowed. How disrespectful is it to go sleep with somebody. It's bad enough that you're sleeping with somebody, but never mind that. But not to clean up and take a shower where you are. You want to come home and take a shower. Anyway, so he was doing stuff like that. So he would immediately come home and take a shower. And I'm just like, red flag, chose to ignore it. Foolish. And so, we smoking weed together. And, in the beginning, we smoking weed together. But as time is progressing, he would roll up my weed. Thank God. He would roll up my weed and then he would roll up his weed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, why we ain't smoking together no more? Why we ain't, whatever. Like, it was just weird. And then, like, he was smoking. I would see, like, a little white cloud. Like, his smoke was different than my smoke. And I'm just like, okay, that's weird. I don't know nothing about it. If it wasn't marijuana, I don't know. And I didn't start smoking that until I was like, 21. But I was just like, that's weird or whatever. And then so he started losing all of this weight. And so our guy friends was like, what you doing with this dude? What you doing with this dude? Like, they was just super duper cool. You know what I'm saying? They wanted the best for us. They, we didn't sleep with none of them. They was just super, super cool. And they were always around. They was just like, what are you doing with this dude? Like, he ain't nothing and this and that. Or you with him? And I'm like, boy, whatever, be quiet. This is my boyfriend. This is home. And it was like, hell no, we don't trust this dude or whatever, right? And so as time goes by, he starts losing weight. You know what I mean? Like, starting to get like small from how you looked when you first got out, right? And so they were saying like, then there was a rumor, right, going around saying like, this dude is smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's smoking. I'm like, smoking what? You know what I mean? Like, this dude is smoking crack mixed with weed. They're called cavies. They're like, this dude smoke cavies. Like, he smoke crack or whatever. And I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, no way, whatever. No way. So time is going by. He done lost all the weight or whatever. And then, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. And, so income tax come or whatever. So it was like little signs and stuff going on or whatever. So income tax coming. I'm like, okay, something's going on with this dude. I can't really pinpoint it. Maybe it is true what people are saying. Maybe it's not. I don't know what in the world was wrong with me, but I ended up staying with him throughout this time. So income tax come and I ended up hiding my money inside of the wall socket. I took the wall socket off, the plug socket. I took that off and put the money in there, right? And when I got home from work, he had found the money and he was like, oh, I got the money. I went and, did this and went and bought this so that I can flip so that we can really, make it and get out of this apartment with your sisters and really get into our own and this and that and this and that. Long story short, the money never flipped. The money never doubled. The money never tripled. And I'm just like, okay, now I'm starting to think, okay, this has got to be some truth to what is going on, right? It's got to be some truth to what's going on because these little red flags, the stuff that I'm hearing out here in the streets, everything is starting to add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, you're a cheater. I knew you was a cheater, but I would never say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I would never say nothing when he would leave and come back and take a shower when I already knew deep down in my heart that he was sleeping with somebody else. So I never said nothing about it. Don't ask me why. Foolish. Just count it as foolish. This is a story of brokenness. Don't forget. So, yeah, and mind you, y'all, my mom died when I was 15 years old. And after that, I was just a lost girl looking for love in all the wrong places, just hurt, broken, devastated, and despair. Like, brokenness. Brokenness is the key to all of this. Okay, so one day, I don't even know how long we was together, probably months. Y'all, my mind I have a really bad memory, right? So one day he's walking to the store with my sister, right? And it was like, okay, well, we're gonna walk to the store. He was like, why don't you, little sis, come with me or whatever. So they walked to the store or whatever. I didn't think nothing of it, right? So they come back or whatever. And my sister's kind of like timid, like, standoffish or whatever, whatnot. And I think it took maybe like a couple of days later or maybe like a few days later for her to say, like, she came to me and she was like, do you know that Mark was telling me that, I can make a lot of money out there and, he could watch over me while he put me out there in the street and, he would have me have a nice, he could put me in a nice room to where, I wouldn't be worried about anything and that I could make a lot of money if I was out there in the streets and basically selling my body. And he would be her pimp. And that's what he was saying. He was trying to suave himself and twist it and sly fox his words in a way to make her not think what he was saying, that he was saying, but she already knew because she's a smart girl. And so she come and she tell me this, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, you know, really? Or whatever. So I ended up sleeping with him that night, and it was just so heavy on my spirit because I knew for a fact, and I confronted him though. When I confronted him, of course, who's gonna say yeah? He didn't say yes. He was just like, no, your sister lying. Matter of fact, she was trying to talk to me and she wanted to be with me and this and that and this and that. She was coming on to me when we walked to the store, yada, 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 yada. Come on now. You really honestly believe? Because if that was the case, you would have told me when you first got here. Why is it that you didn't tell me this until after she told me that you was trying to put her on the corner and be her pimp? Y'all, real stuff. And so, I was like, you know what, whatever. You know what I mean? And so like a couple of days go by and I'm still laying with this man. You know what I'm saying? But everything in me is like boiling. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, at this point, you're using me. At this point, I know everything. Like, okay, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt or whatever. Yeah, it was little red flags or whatever. But I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Let me just continue on and just see. But once everything came to play and I found out, okay, after that situation with my sister, I'm like, okay, the truth here is you're using me. The truth is here, you're cheating on me. The truth is here, you don't give not two damns about me or anybody that I'm surrounded by. 3, 4, you're on drugs. You know what I'm saying? 5, you are not the same size that you were when you got out. You look completely different as far as in the physical sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, he wasn't beating on me or whatever, but he would always bring me flowers and candy and roses and do that type of stuff. You know what I mean? He opened my door every single time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, at the end of the day, all that don't matter when we got all of this other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So all of this stuff is just bottled up inside of me. And I'm like, even though I'm still laying with this man, still for at least like 2 to 3 days. And my sister, it got tense in the house because my sister was like, okay, she ain't said nothing. This dude's still in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck? And everything is just bottling up inside of me. I'm like, I'm being used. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is really, truly trying to get over on me. Like, I'm just playing it in my head, playing it over in my head, right? So I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, I cannot freaking believe this. Like, I will hurt this guy. Like, literally, for real, hurt this guy. He used to always say, oh, I'm from Little Rock and from the big gangs and all of this and yada, yada, yada. Boy, be quiet. Boy, be quiet, because when truth comes, boy, you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing, and you prey on broken women. And there are so many men that prey on broken women. You knew exactly what you were doing from the beginning. You knew exactly what you were doing from the beginning. So while I'm out here trying to be genuine and trying to support you, and we trying to do this and do that, and girl, this boy don't give 2 damns about you, right? And so I'm like, a couple of this, so all of this stuff is like bubbling. Like, I can literally almost see red, right? And so I'm in the bathroom, like, it had to have been like 2-3 days later, no more than 3 days later. I confronted him. He denied everything. And so I'm in the bathroom getting out the shower, right? He's in the bathroom brushing his teeth. And the room that we were in had a sliding glass door, in the room that was attached to, and it was a balcony there, and like a little wooded gate, like a little balcony patio, and the screen door, right? So I'm getting out the shower and I'm getting dressed and I'm just fuming. Like, all of this stuff has been bubbling in and just festering over these last few days. I know my sister telling the truth. I know at this point, this guy ain't nothing but a loser and a liar. But I just continue on like nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had all of this stuff inside of me, right? And so he brushing his teeth or whatever. And I must have looked at him and I was like, so this is just how you gonna do? And he was like, what you mean? I'm like, so this is just how you gonna play. Y'all, the sliding glass door was closed. The sliding glass door was closed to the room, right? And so I'm like, so this is how you gonna do? So I get dressed or whatever. And I'm like, so this is how you gonna do? You just, and I kept asking him about the situation. I don't know why I thought he would tell the truth, but whatever. Just thinking that he would tell the truth eventually or whatever. And he was just like, no, whatever. Your sister a lie. Your sister this, right? Y'all, I saw black. I must have put both of my hands around this man's neck and choked his neck so hard and brought that man, because he was standing up against the wall at this time. The door was closed in the bathroom. I took both of my hands around his neck and squeezed his neck so hard and grabbed that man and picked him up off of that floor. Baby, his feet was off the ground, literally. And he just started turning purple, started foaming out, spit started coming out. And I'm literally picking him up and I'm like, how dare you do this to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you take advantage of somebody like me? Like, how dare you play with me? You know what I'm saying? And he just looking at me like, he couldn't talk. He couldn't say nothing. And he is just like literally purple and foaming at the mouth, right? And I see black. I see all freaking black. And I'm grabbing him and I'm just choking him. The intention was to choke the living life out of him. I'm like, I'll be the last one you ever do like this. You know what I'm saying? And he literally turning purple and foaming at the mouth. Feet off the ground. I got him hemmed up against that wall. Literally. And some just said, let him go. And I let him go. And y'all, I kid you not, I saw a black form of a, well, how can I say, like a black form of a jacket, like a silhouette. I didn't even see him no more. It just, when I let him go, it turned into like a black, like a cape. That's how I want to describe it. It turned into like a cape, a black cape. And the cape went from out the bathroom, in the room, somehow the sliding glass door became opened and the cape went, hit that back patio and flew over that gate, because it was a gate to the patio, and flew over. And y'all, I never seen that man ever again from that very moment. Never seen him again from that very moment, y'all. And one of the neighbors came over and was like, girl, what the heck was that? Something flew over the back gate. What happened? Like, who was that flew over the back gate? Like, what happened over the back gate? I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? They was like, what happened to Mark? His other name, but I'm going to call him Mark. What happened to Mark? What happened to Mark? I'm like, I don't know. He gone. That's over with. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, I kid you not. Years later, my sister's baby's dad is in prison, right? He's in prison doing life, unfortunately. My nieces and nephews' dad, he's, doing life, unfortunately. And they ran into, he somehow was in the prison where they was at. They was like, oh, that's your sister. Oh, tell her to get in contact with me. They were like, this man has been asking for you. This man, even before, it was like years later before he even went to prison. It was like, this guy has been looking for you. Every time we want to run across this guy, it was like, you Shantara? They was like, this guy, Mark, has been looking for you, asking, saying that he needed to apologize to you, saying that he was so sorry. They said that the man went crazy. His hair was his everything. His hair was like, he was so cocky, and so he just thought he was all of that. And he was very, very clean, like showered all the time, clean shoes, always cleaning, his shoelaces and stuff like that. He was that type of person. And his hair was everything. And so they said that man pretty much he's going crazy, you know what I'm saying? And he shaved off all his hair and he had been looking for you. And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with that man. I'm not going to talk to him at all. However he feel, whatever he feel, that's between him and God. He can figure that out, right? And so this was maybe about, and it was just like, he done went crazy. I don't know what happened. It was like, he done went crazy. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. That's what happened. And so a few months ago, I received a fake Facebook request from him. And I'm like, Lord, I saw that request and I just started shaking. And I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to tell this person? Because I want nothing to do with this person. Just let me know what, right? I must have accepted that friend request and I was like, hey, Mark. He was like, what's going on? He was like, oh, I just wanted to say that, I've been missing you and I've been thinking about you. What is that on your mouth? Yogurt? Okay, go back in there. I'm recording. I've been thinking about you or whatever. And I'm like, boy, I said, I don't want nothing to do with you. I was like, I am not the same person that you met all those years back. I am a totally different woman. You are not going to be able to run any game on me. I want nothing to do with you. He was like, well, I was just calling to, apologize for the things that I did. And I'm no longer the person. Y'all, right now to this day, I ended up hanging up in that man's face. He ended up calling me all kind of B's and all of this and that. And once I didn't give in to whatever he was saying, y'all, that man is serving life in prison right now to this day without the possibility of parole. Life in prison. So when the Bible tells us that vengeance is not mine, it belongs to the Lord. Me killing him that day in that bathroom would have done nothing to the suffering that he suffers each and every single day in that jailhouse. You know what I'm saying? And I just thank God. I really, 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 really do thank God that his hand is on my life. And so when the Bible talks about, being genuine and walking in integrity and those who, those who do not, they will be found out. What? You need to wipe your mouth. You look a hot disaster. A hot. What is this all in your hair? You got yogurt. You know what? Give me a kiss. Say, I love you, mommy. Okay, yeah, go in there. Y'all, so I just thank God. Go in there. Let me finish talking to our subbies. I'll tell them you said hi. So y'all, I just thank God. You know what I mean? So like I was saying, these story times are going to be times of brokenness. It's not to bash anyone. It is me using these stories so that God can get the glory. You know what I'm saying? And I was a foolish woman. I was broken, low self-esteem, didn't love myself, didn't care. And I was always, I'm big, I'm plus size. I love myself and I'm so in love. Girl, no, you're not, because the moment you, excuse me, the moment you accept disrespect, the moment you accept somebody cheating on you, the moment you accept somebody doing drugs in your life, the moment you accept all of this crap, girl, you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself at all, not one single bit, and you're lost and you're broken, baby. You know what I'm saying? You have no boundaries. You have no limits. And people will only do what you allow them to do. So that is a story time of brokenness and the time that I almost killed this individual. But God worked it out. The Lord's hand was on this situation, and this person is now doing life right now to this day as we speak, and will never, ever see the streets again. So, yeah, y'all, and this happened before I met Deanna's dad. I'll tell a couple stories from him coming up, but I'm just starting to remember all these stories and bringing them up and putting them out there before you guys so that you can understand you are not the only person who done been a fool. You are not the only person who done continue to run back to a toxic relationship. You are not the only person who keep going around and around and about in circle with a fool. You know what I'm saying? With a fool. But that means that you're a fool also. You're broken. You're broken and you're foolish as well. And so the only way to get healing and the only way to stop this vicious cycle is to completely and totally lean on God. You know what I'm saying? And to stop having sex with these individuals. I know that it's my journey right now, but I'm here to tell you it's the only way. You have to stop having sex with these individuals, and you have to completely and totally surrender to God so that he can heal you from all of that brokenness, so that the cycle can stop with you. So I hope that you enjoyed this story time, you guys. And until the next time, be inspired. I love you guys. God bless you. Good day.